Okay, so what we might do now is we might look at some triggers and conditions we might use in a mission context to basically activate our sliding gates. So, set up 2 gates here for examples. Delink those and delink those. Okay. Now give them a tag at SL_01. SL_02, but I didn't have it selected. SL_02. Okay, so we might want to put a zone. So we had a zone that when you enter the zone, the gate goes up. If you leave the zone, gate goes down. So how would we write it so that when you entered that you could enter? Don't throw stuff. Rid of that. Okay. So let's have a look here. Create a new trigger. We'll call it SL/01 and rename that to open. So we'll have entities. Change it to advanced. We'll go group. Select the zone SL01. We'll include prop, human, exclude the state dead, inactive, and probably should exclude the state linked. That way if a helicopter flies over a zone with a couple of passengers or pilots and stuff in it, it won't trigger it. So there's a human, untick user. There's a human inside the zone who isn't dead, inactive, or linked. It's greater than 0. That'll be one of our conditions. The other condition will also be in entities. And this time, make that advanced. Selector will be the tag SL01, which is the tag given to the sliding link prop. Will include tag closed. Currently has. So this will trigger when someone enters that zone and that's tagged closed. Those two things are met. We will simply go entity state, and it will be SL01 tag, that sliding link again, and we're going to add the tag activate. Save that, and we'll add a delay. Give it 3 seconds. We'll add a trigger. Now, where is he? He's in the zone at the moment. Let's move him out. Press start. As soon as he moves in that zone, it should open. There it goes. So that's in the zone. Moves out. and walks back in, doesn't re-trigger because it now has the open tag, no longer has the closed one. So, finish that. What we'll want is, that's our open one. We'll copy it, we'll call it closed, close. This time, instead of the tag closed, we'll want the tag open. Was it opened? And this time we want the count of inside that zone to equal 0. On that, save. Okay, so now what we expect to happen, when we walk in, the gate will open. When we walk out, the gate will shut. There we go. Pretty easy. Using Control S to scale that up. My zone over by the door. Even though the zone's there, it still thinks it's over here because I moved it during a simulation. Let's put that by the door now. Start. You could make a creative mission there where you trap the player even, I guess. Okay. Finish. Another way to write that would be, instead of using the entity in the zone, what we could do is instead we could use a near. And we could say, this is to close. So the units, this will be, we can include the prop human, and you'd exclude inactive, dead, all those things. Near to the prop. And if we had a distance of, let's say, big was our, okay, so we had an 8 radius there. Let's move that out the way. So we'll say 8. And I'm not going to use that first one. So instead of deleting it, I'm just going to go highlight in there, double click in that box. I'm going to 2 space and, hang on, I've got to right click, sorry, and then edit. Then I'm just going to go 2 space and 3 and then hit enter. I'm going to add that near one in here as well. Same thing again. Include the prop human. Now, so if they're near, it's got the close tag. It'll toggle it. Okay. So we're going to change this. Right click and edit. 2, space and 3, enter. This one, well, it's going to be not near. So it's when they're not near. Now, the way to express that in the box here is to hold shift and press number 1. And you put that little apostrophe sign. That means, so that'll be 2 and not 3. That's if it's tagged opened. Okay, so let's start and see if that works. You're wondering if it's a zone. Zone's way over there. And just to prove it, we can delete those out of there. And look at here. So you can see here the first condition is actually met. Which is that it's closed. Yep. So there's two ways you could do it. You could do it using either the zone, or you could just use the near command and it has the same effect. Okay. Finish. What else have we got? What can we do differently? Okay, you probably the switcher. Right, this is the standard switcher object. I've brought it across from Assault Squad 2. Not sure if it was in the base game or not. It may have been, but I've got an edited version as well, but I'll show you the first one first. So let's get rid of... actually... I'm going to copy one of these. We call it switcher. So we can get rid of these two conditions because we're going to have a different condition. What does the switcher do? Well, it has an interactive feature. So when your guy touches it, it gets given the switch tag. Okay, so that switch tag stays on there. I remove it. So what we can do is give that switch tag an actual, that switcher a tag, call it SL_01. Here now for the command, make sure our trigger's set to reset it. We're going to go entities. We go advanced, group, select the tag, SL01. So that'll be any of them, as long as one of them will have this tag. Switch. So that'll make that tag, but we're going to go entity state. Same time. Going to then remove that tag switch from the object. So these first two with the, we're going to turn them off. And the only trigger that's active now is the switcher one. So what should happen with this is when the man runs up, touches it, going to give it that switcher tag. This condition we'll be looking for. So then going to remove that switch tag as well as activate things. So there's the switch tag. Why didn't it work? SLO1. Okay, this is what's wrong. I've got entities 1 because I copied those ones. What I need to do is go in here and put 1. Now it's already triggered, but it hasn't triggered properly. So if I press F3, F8, no, hasn't happened. Spell switch wrong. Oh, it's on. Let's just finish it and make sure this is right. This probably buggered it. So that should work. There it goes. Yeah, it just glitched out because I didn't have that right. So by simply pressing that button now, we can use that to control it and open and shut it. So because this is named the same, it got the activate tag, but it's not affecting anything, so it's not a big issue. I had one of them on the inside too. Gave it the same tag. Either one will work. So there you can have a button basically that you use to open and shut the door. I want to show you another variation of that switcher unit that I've made. This one here. Give it the same tag too. But the difference between these two, I press Alt V and bring up. I've simply gone into the file. I've added this extra box here. I edit the gems, which are here it is. Yes. So I've added an extra box. I've given it a non-bullet hit feature. So I've also added a sound, done some effects. So what happens is so it gets the switch tag, but it automatically where are we? Here. When it does the switch, adds the tag switch, but it automatically removes it after 2 seconds. So we could effectively, when using this particular one, and it also happens, just you can still run up and press the button. It'll add the tag, then it'll disappear after 2 seconds. So in effect, this one here where it activates it, we can turn that one off. We don't need it. I press start. With that distraction, so for shits and giggles, I made this one so that it could be a bit more cinematic. Now, because I turned off that other function, probably just cycle through because the switch isn't being removed until I turn that back on. Because the default one doesn't do it. Okay. Finish that. Another prop I brought across from Assault Squad 2 is the Air Force gate. These actually have built in, if you press U, then 5, go to any play. These actually have an animation attached to them. If you call it, it does it again. If you want to do it in reverse, it's -1. You use that in, save that, quickly write a function. What are they called? Air Force gate. So test, tag this one. O1. I put an underscore on that. Why did I do that? Okay, so what you can do, just add a delay in here. 2 seconds. Then using the entity effect, the effect will be open. Will be Air Force gate, including the tag. One. Copy that, put a delay 3 seconds, then another effect. We'll call that close. Start. There it opens. There it closes, and it also automatically, well, it's kept the tag opened and closed. Okay. That's probably because I've played with it. And I've written, by default, it has those open and close effects. But I've written my own version here, and I've used toggle as an effect, and show you what the difference is. So instead of the open, I'm just going to write toggle in there. Toggle again. Press start. We get a sound now. And the opened and closed. Are we? So we get that sound and everything. I think it's better than just the open close one. So that's another door option you've got as well. And you'd simply use same sorts of trigger setups we discussed here. We'll use in that particular gate. There's 2 of them. I don't know what the big difference between them actually is. Oh, one's slightly wider than the other. They haven't been scaled all, they're just slightly different dimensions. So that's the only difference between them, compared side by side. But they both do the same thing. Oh, it's not an animation, of course. That's why that's not going to work. But if I call that one 2, now I should see that one open and that one close. you tick. Here's a good point to know. They both reacted once, but if I untick that and then press OK, it'll actually trigger it twice. So here's just unticking and then closing. As opposed to unticking and then clicking OK. Untick, OK. It did it twice. Like it double registers it. Okay, so sure, there's other ways you could come up with to make your gates open and shut. Yeah, that's a start anyway.